Okay, main thing is today. Okay, so hello. So last week we started I guess what we should first of all do is, this is the book we're learning, okay? So this is, you ever see this? You ever hear of it?
Yep.
Okay, so it's by Rabbi Arya Kaplan, but I did it because after he passed away, it still wasn't a book, it was just classes. So therefore, I took the classes. Come this side, hello. Come. Yes, they took it over.
But they always do that.
Okay, they always do it. That's because it's a woman's world.
We said, hey, men. Hey, we can't. That's running. My son could appear shortly as well, so.
Okay, this chair is making trouble, so maybe use a plastic chair. There's more chest. There's more plastic chairs somewhere. I don't know. No, 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 na 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 Hi, everybody. Who didn't get something from this page? Who didn't get it? Everybody got one? Okay, it's called the Simpson, right? So how do we, some of you have never been here before. Some of you were here last week, some of you weren't here last week. So always have to start at the Bereshit, beginning. So it's this book we're doing. This is classes by Rabbi Arya Kaplan. We're going to chapter 13. We've been over a year with this, but anybody who comes in, it doesn't matter if you were here with us, you can understand what we're saying. We're going to take a very deep matter tonight. We're called the Tzimtzum, and we'll understand it. Last week we started out that every single one of us has infinite potential. Theoretically, we have an incredible amount of potential. And yet, our limitations, the different aspects of our makeup, cause frustration. It could be that the more potential that I have, the more frustration I have, express it. And it drives some of us crazy. That I can do, and I do it, it's like the greatest thing in the world. And then the next day, maybe not, I come up against the wall. Or I do something, or I say something, right? So we are a combination of infinite potential and, so in Kabbalah, there's words for these. And these words also have a cosmic application, that Hashem has potential and he wants so much to express it. And yet he made a world that he actually made not going to express himself fully into this world, because the world couldn't handle it. The world would be able to be destroyed. So therefore, he's going to come into the world on its, what's the word? Terms, on its terms, not on his terms. Build up the world's capacity slowly through us, and we're like the ones who also have this tremendous tension, the level of the world's capacity to be able to have more and more and more infiniteness is infiniteness, and not to be destroyed. And we're in the middle here, feel his infiniteness. Without us, the world would be, you can see it in just wouldn't, it's too much. Like the sun would be too close to the earth would be too close to the sun, it's over. Because of us, there's something that when we overcome the tension between these two things, and we work with ourselves, and we bring more of the infinite within our daily lives, and how that works, we talked about it 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, and last week, so I'll have to go into that again. How does it work that each one of us is able to bring more of the infinite into the details of our lives, which is into the details of the limitations that we experience? And it'll explain at the same time why we're given limitations and why that's really a gift also. And why the two names of Hashem called Hashem Elokim are the secret of this relationship. Hashem Hu Elokim. Hashem is the one who hides in the limitations. Who means the one who constricts himself and comes into the world in a way that's it's not infinite. And yet he's the infinite God. So based on what I just said, I have to have some feedback from you before I go on, because I have to know that I've understood. Okay, so anybody, please, everybody, all start yelling.
I think the principal thing you said here is this is one of the primary ways in which we orbit Sutton and the King.
We have the same tension that God has. So when the image of God, what do you mean?
That's what I meant.
I mean, he has the same troubles we do.
You said it.
You mean he creates troubles just for us?
Yes.
You know, interesting. And should we get rid of the troubles and trash the troubles and just go to God?
Not quite. That's shortcutting things.
He's going to tell us to go back to the troubles after we meet with him.
Result.
He says, you can come to me. I'm willing to meet with you. I'm willing to give you an amazing sense of your own infinite potential. But then I'm going to send you right back into your limitations. Hello. And enjoy it. No, come on. That's the whole class.
Yeah.
So here, the Ari talks about it in terms of God. So I thought I'd bring it in. It's an amazing text. It's a very challenging thing. What can I say? We'll just do it. Okay, we'll do the best we can. But so the main thing was that was to say that it's not just talking about something that has nothing to do with us. Whoa, Shalom Aleichem. That's very important. In other words, in some way, the same tension that we live with is the godly tension. And of course, it's much different, but it's so important for me to make the initial contact that it's not just something out there, it's me. And I can have a part in this. I can bring more infiniteness of God into the world. How do I do that? When I come up against my own limitation, I'm patient with myself. It's called Erech HaPain. God is called Erech HaPain. He's infinitely patient. It's called Keter. Keter. Down in Tiferet and in Yesod and in Malchut, there's less patience. So in order for me, and there's more limitations. So in order for me to be able to deal with my limitations more, I have to connect with something that's a higher part of myself. I need tools, and I need ground rules. So the Kabbalah is giving me that, but it's giving it to me in a language that very often I cannot use it to apply to myself. So I'm just trying to present the problem. What do you want to say?
Isn't this also hard in the sense of acceptance? Acceptance of what's given to me, acceptance of what I am.
So he himself says here about Netzach and Hod, he says that Netzach is for me to move forward no matter what comes in front of me. Mm-hmm. And Hod is to stop and actually to step back. Whoa, I can't just do whatever I want. So I have this movement between Netzach and Hod. It's called self-affirmation, and this is self-effacement. Who am I? What can I possibly do? So we have to find a balance between these two extremes. It's a little bit different, but here, or maybe it isn't. Maybe it's what I'm trying to say is a certain idea that came to me, that what does it mean to be patient with my limitations? Instead of saying, I can't do this, and this is too hard, and I've tried 1,000,000 times, and I'm giving up, that's it, I'm right. And say, wait, don't do that to yourself. Don't make generalizations about what you're going to do forever. Don't ever say ever. Don't ever say always. Don't ever say, I'm never going to do that. Don't ever, right? Be patient. Be matun in Hebrew. Be able to look at a situation and say, you know what? It's not so bad. Maybe there's parts here that I can really deal with. And even though there's parts I can't deal with, right? That's bringing a higher part of myself. That's bringing the infinite into the what's called the impatient part of me. Impatience, even with Hashem, there's a thing called Arich Anpin and a thing called Zeir Anpin. We've spoken about this, but every time we speak about it, we have to say it like completely new. Tiferet is my heart center, is where I have the struggle of my life. Right? Impatience. It's called Zeir Anpin, which means the small face. It means it doesn't have the ability to always see the big picture. It sees what's happening right now. This bus driver, this cab driver, this bank clerk, right? This newspaper article, this thing, this is what's happening right now, takes over my whole life. This moment when somebody said something to me, I'm totally taken over by the moment. That's called Zeir Anpin. It's because it's limited and constricted. Arich Anpin is up in Keter, is patient. It's ancientness. It's don't get so excited. It's okay. So how do I unite these two parts of myself? Or when I have a lust and I want to do something and I can't stand it and I can't stop it. How do I stop that? How do I So there's actually in the holy books from 800 years ago, when a man has a very overpowering lust, it says, stand on your tiptoes, stand on your tiptoes, stand on your tiptoes. It is literally a real, actual thing to do. That if you do this, it'll calm down your desires. I used to do it because I'm a man. I like good advice. So anyway, I'm just trying to give examples of how I infiltrate my infiniteness into my limitations. That's all. Just a few examples. Now let's see about the God part of it. You have Yehudit? Okay. So let's see what he says. This is the language of the Ari himself, written by Rav Chaim Vital. It's challenging, so let's see what happens. Da, you should know. Ki terem shenetzlu hanetzalim v'nivra'u hanivra'im haya or elyon pashut mimale kol hametziyut. So the picture that the Ari wants us to have of what existed before creation is that there was just one homogeneous, simple light. What we would call light, but light is a metaphor, but it's the best metaphor we have. One simple, ubiquitous, homogeneous, these are big words, right? Light, nothing but. And in this light, it's a conscious light. It's a mind with a capital M. It's a conscious of itself, and it has a plan that it wants to give of itself to other. So it has to figure out a way, because it's infinite, it has to figure out a way to make other, which is impossible for infinite because no finite can exist in the face of the awesomeness, the magnitude of infinite. So the infinite came up with a plan. You can read it in English, obviously. You know that before any emanations or creations created, there was one simple, complete, and perfect, supernal, exalted, transcendental light existence. And even the word existence is not completely usable here. It's only a borrowed term. There was no existence yet. Because formally speaking, existence is it has the Latin root X. Anybody know what you do with X? All X words, exit.
Outside. It's
outside. It's exclaim. It's to let out something. Exodus is to come out, to bring out. Even external is totally right.
Experience.
Extraneous. It's out of the subject. And there's a few other. Exhume is to take a body out of the grave, like hello. Exhale is to bring air out of to breathe out. X is always X. In Hebrew, it's a tzadi, the letter tzadi. Like we're just now beginning Sefer Shemot, which is the book of the Exodus, the book of Yetziah. The tzadi, which is the single one-letter root in Hebrew, which is the equivalent, which preceded the equivalent in Latin of the X. So existence is that which comes after there's an initial state of hidden being, of isness, that precedes existence. But anyway, he's using existence here as a borrowed term. He says it filled all existence, even though there was no existence. That was my point here. There was no empty place, no empty...
Existence as we know it, or was this an existence in itself then?
Well, I like to say it was being, which is deeper than existence. And being is Hayahoveh V'Hi, Hashem is. He doesn't exist.
No time.
God doesn't exist because he is.
No, but this is not God.
This is God's light. This is even something less than God.
Right. I think that's all the commentaries in this, from the Sulam to the Style from all of them. So don't make the mistake that this is God. This is nothing to do with God.
Yeah, in Kabbalah, as a rule, in order to save God a lot of frustration, what we might do to him,